Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thanks for joining me. So today I'm going to do something a little bit unusual. Thanks to some of my amazing viewers who went back into the deep dark recesses, well frankly down in the basement of the archives of my videos. A few of you have suggested that I did a channeling back in October 1st of 2020. This is before the election. And the channeled beings basically predicted January 6th. And they did. I've watched it and I'm going to play it for you in this video. Now, YouTube has decided to hold it hostage. So normally I could just download my own videos if I wanted to, but now they're charging me to download my own video. And because this is 2 years old, I don't have it. I can't find the original version. So you're going to see it, the version that I've actually recorded from the actual YouTube channel being played. The audio is pretty good, but it's a little loud, so you may need to turn it down. But I want you to watch it because it really does. They really just come right out and say violence. They basically describe January 6th. Back in October 1st, 2020. Now, this is like maybe 8 minutes long. After that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you what I think, because they did describe January 6th, but then the second part of this video, they talk about something else. And I don't think it's clear what they're talking about. And I think I can make it more clear. And I think that they're actually talking about something that hasn't happened yet. So even from October 1st of 2020, there's still a part of this video that we haven't seen come to fruition yet. So I will meet you on the other side of this video to describe what I think is still coming ahead. Check it out, and I'll be right back.
Like a karmic feeling, a karmic leveling. When I asked, how does this affect humans? This was the channel message that I received. Humans are experiencing a higher frequency energy currently. Some will think this energy is due to the changing of the seasons. And in some ways, this is true. The season of fall is about to change, death and subsequent rebirth. However, this is happening on an energetic level as well. There is a quickening of energy and a collecting of karmic debts. Humans have gotten rather inhumane, and this energy will push you hard to get you through this time of clashing morality. The energy is preparation for the event. Your experience of time on the timeline will move faster as you near the election. Everything is as it will be and based on the accumulative action of humans for the last decades. We wish to propel you through this time frame at greater speed. Humans are not ready and will be caught off guard by coming events. This will not be advantageous to humankind. By speeding up the energy and timeline, humans will be propelled with great force towards the change, and it is our hope that we will break through to the other side and experience peace and love. Breaking through the event will be a seminal point in your history. We do not wish to predict exact actions, but we will say that the collective energy is one that will produce violence amongst your population. It is through the lens of the wide-eyed, innocent viewer that the needed awakening and acceptance of the violence against your own people will be rectified. It is our wish that by quickening your timeline, that you will wake from your slumber and see with clear eyes the carnage that lay about you, in time to effectively denounce and remove those that would commit violence against their own people. Humans, and respectfully, Americans, should no longer permit these conditions to exist. There is currently a golden opportunity to act quickly, to ride this energy of change to do good for your fellow humans. We have done what we can to assist you with love. the beings. That is really intense, and the energy is intense. It makes me want to jump out of my skin. It is so fraught with tension. It's just really, really intense right now. So that's their message to us at this time during the 2020 United States election. I'm sure they're going to have more to say about this. They have been pushing me to communicate to you guys their messages. And so I'm trying to bring them through as I get them. I simply didn't know this was going to be a complete channeled message, or else I would have videoed it as it happened. But a lot of times when I'm writing, when I'm typing, they will actually take over, and I understand that it's no longer my words because it's in third person. So I understand that this is a channeled message, and the best thing for me to do is just to continue typing until the message is done. So I hope this was illuminating. I hope that you find it helpful in some way. I hope that we're all safe. But at the same time, I understand that we need to not allow whatever groups want to, do violence against us. We need to somehow stand up against that. They feel like we're in a slumber. They feel like we're asleep. They feel like we're lulled into this, passiveness. They don't want us to go out and riot. They don't want us to go out and be violent. That is not at all the message here. They do not agree with violence. The message is they don't agree with violence. However, they want us to do what we can to expose those people who would do violence against us, and expose them and remove them is what they said. So I can only take that to mean to work within the channels of our laws and our society to hold people accountable. I think certainly peaceful protest is perfectly fine. However, I will tell you that the violence is going to happen. I really need to do a whole nother video on this, but violence is going to happen. They showed me pictures of burning cities. You can't get any more, in my opinion, any more apocalyptic than that. For me to see this picture of a city on fire, that is not at all what they're suggesting here. However, there's going to be provocateurs, saboteurs that are going to come in and are going to do this violence and kind of pin it and blame it on other groups, which is going to cause the police to come in, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for us. So I think knowledge is power. And I think if you know these things in advance, you can make better decisions. You can hold your city council, your mayor, your governor, your senator, and your representative. You can hold them accountable in different ways and avoid anything that looks like it might become violent. And I have to tell you that the way this is going to go down is that it's going to look like a peaceful protest. It's going to be a peaceful protest, but these provocateurs are going to come in and create havoc and violence in those peaceful protests. So please be careful. Please be careful. Please be careful bringing your children. Please. So, if that means going before your mayor at a city council meeting, or emailing your mayor, or staging a sit-in inside a mayor's office or someplace safe, then maybe that's safer. I understand they want us to stand up. I mean, protest is a loaded word these days. But they want us to not allow these things to happen. We just have to be very careful about how we safeguard ourselves and safeguard our children. Definitely video everything. Strap a GoPro to you. Video everything all the time. Even if it's a peaceful protest, video it. Have it go to Facebook. So where if something happens to your camera, it's still preserved. With that, I'm going to leave you for today. I pray for us, pray for our country, ask for white light protection to be surrounding our leaders, our citizens. Pray that we come together as a nation. Pray that all of us are able to find some kind of common ground and that we do not descend into violence. Thank you.
So if you just watched that, it's pretty heavy, right? It pretty much basically describes what happened in January 6th. I also, having the ability to talk to the guides while I'm watching it, I'm asking them questions about some things really stand out to me. So so when I was channeling and there was the written channeled message, that was the beginning and the end of the channeled message. Okay, so the end of the part of the screen where there was writing on the screen, that was the end of the channeled message. What was happening after that was me talking to my guides. And I just want to say that you can see how concerned I am about the violence. And you can also see that I saw burning cities. Now, this is the part I want to talk to you about. I'm going to talk to you about the burning cities, and then I might go back and talk about some of the parts from the channeled message. We haven't gotten to the burning cities yet. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. We did change the timeline because they sped up the timeline. We did hit that seminal point in history with such power, with such a provocative thing that happened, that the general, that Pence, that some people said no. They knew there was no doubt in anyone's mind that this was a coup. And there was no doubt in anyone's mind that they had to do something, or that was that. Some people say that Pence, and I'm getting chills, Pence didn't leave. He didn't leave the Capitol building because he didn't think he could get back. And he thought that once I left, game over, democracy's over. Our country has changed forever. So they knew these people like Pence and some of these Republicans and some of these Democrats knew that they had to stay. Now juxtapose that with the recent news of Josh Hawley running down the corridor past Capitol Police as he fled from the building. I mean, what a weasel. What a traitor. What a traitor this man is. You know, Pence had at least the love of country. And those Republicans and Democrats that stayed until 1 a.m. and, counted those votes and sanctified the vote. Those people knew what was at stake. They truly knew what was at stake. And I feel that the fact that the timeline was sped up so that when it really hit that nexus point, that contact point of this coup moment, that because everything was so much more, the bang was louder. All I can describe is that the energetic bang of these actions was louder. Had it been more subtle, it could have really happened. I mean, let's think about this. What if there wasn't a rush on the Capitol, and what if some of these people could have been convinced in those hours to not vote, for those to make this election legal? There's suggests that there's some energy that there could have been a different outcome had there not been a riot, that there could have been a different outcome, that might have been a coup all the same. But this riotous energy that I believe was ginned up by the quickening of the timeline woke up. They talk about being in a slumber. woke up Pence, woke up Liz Cheney, woke up these Republicans, and finally showed them that they had no choice but to stay and fight for the democracy, fight for the peaceful change of leadership within the United States. So I think that's what they mean when they say we're going to speed up the timeline in the hopes that somebody does something right, that humans, that Americans can see what's at stake in a new way. Now, the things that I was talking about afterwards, because look, they signed off. They were like, that's the best we can do. I mean, that's what they said. We've done everything we can do. Peace out. Good luck. Right? So then after that, I'm basically still in the energy, having read that scenario. And I'm talking to my spirit guides and I'm saying what is going to happen. They showed me the burning of the cities. And I want to also say that they showed me these children being attacked in protest or in peaceful gatherings. And I do think some of that energy is from Uvalde, but I do really think that it's also from the 4th of July shooting. And also that woman that got run over by the protester, the man that got shot. I mean, there's been people, younger people, that have been killed in these protests. But specifically, they're showing me the 4th of July shooting. This isn't over. I'm not doing this to scare anybody. But, you know, forewarned is forearmed. Bannon just was arrested. You can see in my videos in the past that I've always said that I've always seen. Whether this stuff comes true, it's all energy. Everybody has free will. But this is a message that they've repeated for many months. Typically, when an energy is that strong that it can persist over many months, it's pretty set in stone. It would be very hard to change it. Not impossible, but hard. There are still people, there are still militia members that have not been corralled or arrested or doxxed, ID'd, that are still at work in the United States. There are still sympathetic members of law enforcement, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, CIA, FBI, ATF, even in the National Guard. These people have been radicalized. They've been radicalized. It's no different than radicalizing someone in Yemen. Okay, I need you to understand that. Radicalization is radicalization. It doesn't matter what country it's in any longer. It's now happening in the United States. These people are being radicalized by other countries. I've talked about this before. So what we can potentially expect to see, Bannon is a trigger. Bannon is the architect of this chaos energy, this anarchy energy. He does want civil war in the United States. I'll just throw it out there for entertainment purposes only. Energy is very interesting. You can see something like, for instance, guys, people are saying Malcolm Nance. Malcolm Nance is saying we're headed for civil war. The astrologers are saying the United States is in the same energy as the Civil War. The planets are in the same places they were when the United States was experiencing the Civil War. Right now, there's Civil War energy everywhere. Okay? Now, how is it going to manifest? This is where you get your discerning cap out. This is where you become a critical thinker, even as a psychic, right? I don't see it. I don't see what Malcolm is seeing. I don't see a civil war. To me, a civil war is a war, first of all, and secondly, it's going to take the entire United States. Now, here's what I see. Yes, I can see cities burning. I can see that. And I see saboteurs still. I do see that. What does that mean? That means people dressed as Black Lives Matter or Antifa and going out and doing mischief and then taking a video of it and then using that to gin up support and dollars from their base. That's all. It doesn't even have to be real. The whole thing can be fake, but it gins up those people. It makes them angry. It makes them open up their pocketbooks and give them money. So, but I do see the potential for more violence in our cities, specifically around the election. I do see some cities, well, I do see some states not verifying the election, not accepting the electors and instead putting their own electors forth, meaning Republican electors at that point. And I see Atlanta a lot when I say this. Look, at that point, Atlanta is going to be full of people. Okay, we're looking at another a burning city. Okay, then what happens is the National Guard comes in. The National Guard will come in. I've also seen Kent State recently. I had to look it up. I mean, you hear about these historic things, but I'm not a history buff. I had to look it up, and that's when the National Guard fired on citizens. When you see one of the interviews, I think, by General Milley, he talks about firing on citizens. I mean, the military does not fire on citizens. Okay, you understand? That was part of the problem with Jan 6. They kept saying, do we fire on these people? They're citizens, right? I mean, it was sort of a bridge too far. The military, the Guard, even the Capitol Police couldn't quite make themselves fire on these citizens. So this is the problem, but this is where we're going to be around the election. We're going to have the National Guard come in and quell, is the word they want to use, any uprisings. It's not going to get to a civil war because the National Guard is going to quell the uprising. However, maybe some of you astute viewers noticed that when I started talking about the National Guard and I started talking about who was infiltrated, that I probably had a stricken look on my face when I talked about the National Guard. Well, in that, 60-second pause that you saw me take, I saw an entire movie. The movie I saw was that these militia people who have been radicalized, they radicalize 16-year-old kids, boys typically, who then become 18-year-old kids, and they go into the National Guard. They go into the Army. They go into the Navy. They go into the military as a radicalized person that does not believe in the United States of America. And they do that to get skills. And they do that to radicalize other service members within the military. Now, I also saw, I did not do a video about this, but I saw this a while back, 6 months ago. So, right, around the time we were pulling out of Afghanistan. Our Army, when I say, I'm going to say Army. Our Army is, what's the word they're using? Our Army is not being utilized. They are too, when you have a big group of people and you leave them to their own devices, it's not good. They need a mission. Okay, so when we were in Afghanistan and in Iraq and all this stuff, the Army had a mission. What we need to do now is we need to reduce our force. We need to reduce the troops because there's too many personnel and there's not enough training to keep them otherwise occupied. When they're not otherwise occupied, when they don't have a mission, that's when this radicalization starts creeping through the forces. We need to reduce the number of forces so that the number we have left over can go on these missions and stay occupied. Do not hear me say that I'm pro-war. I'm not saying that at all. I'm telling you what my guides are telling me. You know what I'm going to say. 1-800-SPIRIT Guides, press 1 for complaints. The reason that I give pause to this is because there are radicalized saboteurs in our National Guard. And the National Guard is going to be, who's going to be quelling the uprising. So you're going to see, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, you're not going to see it because you guys don't seem to understand. It's not in America's best interest for foreign countries that don't like us to know that we have saboteurs in our army. So that's it should never hit the light of day. It should be dealt with completely under wraps. It is not in America's best interest to lock up Trump. That's propaganda. See how bad democracy is? They have to lock up their own president. Should we lock him up? Absolutely. Do I think we should lock him up? Absolutely. Is it bad for America? Absolutely. This jerk has us over a barrel. That's why everybody is wrestling with this. You really have to step outside of this kind of nearsighted idea of I want justice, I want justice. We absolutely are going to change the laws. Right now in the Senate and the House, there's a bipartisan law going through to change that the vice president can control the outcome of an election. They're going to take that away from the vice president. So we are changing these laws. We will change the laws. We will not let this happen again. However, dealing with Trump is a lot dicier than people think. We have to do it in a way that allows us to look strong and be strong and still get justice for the citizens of America. So, and I just went off on a tangent, and I apologize for that. But I'm going to stay with that tangent because this is something I actually wanted to talk about. And I have no idea if any of this makes any sense because it's basically channeled. I need to talk to you just briefly. Let me ask them. Do I need to go back? And talk to them about what's happening? What do they need to know? Let me just do this. What do they need to know about this summer? Kent State. Okay. I've already told you all this, so I don't really need to tell you again. I've already told you Kent State. I've already told you that there's a very high probability that the National Guard will fire into a crowd. It could be that the National Guard that fires into a crowd is a radicalized saboteur. Imagine that. So this is what is coming for us. Listen to the video. Listen to the warnings that were given that I channeled because they're very real. I do think we need to protest. I do think that we need to peacefully protest. I do think that people will fill the streets if the vote is denied. And I don't think there's any way that you can stop them. And I don't think you should stop them. But I would ask that people not be violent or be destructive. I would ask that if you find yourself in a situation ever, please video it. Just like I said in that channeled message, video it. I can't tell you how important this is. Back when the riots were happening in Oakland, oh shit. Okay, I meant to say Portland, but I said Oakland. So add that to the list of riots that are going to happen. Back when the riots were happening in Portland, because people videoed everything, these internet sleuths were able to go through and really identify these people who were actually militia members who were wearing Antifa t-shirts and doing damage to businesses. That video footage got given to the FBI and to various law enforcement officers. So you may not think you're videoing anything, or you may think you are, but it's important to video it, okay? If you can do so safely. Practice holding your camera down by your side and letting the video run. Don't just stand there like this. You're going to be a target, okay? This is serious. I'm really being serious. All of this stuff is coming at us. It's coming more like September, October, November, and something is happening in December. I don't know what yet. Let me finish this by talking about Trump just briefly. I've talked to you about this before, about justice, and how our idea of justice and Trump's idea of justice may be different. Trump is going to get justice when he loses everything, when he loses his name, when his name means nothing, when he can't get, 50 views, when he can't get money flowing in. That is really going to be justice for us, because it's really going to be the thing that hurts him the most. I do see him being detained. I do see him in some sort of house arrest situation. Now, whether or not that's public, whether or not that our administration says they're holding the 45th president of the United States of America in house arrest, I don't know. He might just disappear and nobody ever hears from him very much. But truth be told, he's being held against his will. This is United States of America, people. They do things without telling us. Okay, so he will face justice. It's just a matter of whether the administration, the powers that be, think it's worth America losing. We will truly lose strength. We will look weak to our enemies. They will use this as propaganda. They're using Jan 6 as propaganda. Half the Republicans are propagandists against the United States of America. Where do we stop it? How do we stop it? How do we control the narrative? When do we get control of the narrative of what the United States is, who we are, and how strong we are? Okay? That's what Biden's trying to do right now. That's why he's out there meeting with world leaders, making new deals, and trying to claw back our identity and our strength. Right now, everyone is abandoning ship. You have the Secret Service text. Those texts are going to come out. We're not going to be privy to all of those texts because, again, that is national security, folks. We can't have Russia knowing that there was a Secret Service person who was in on the coup. We can't. It doesn't really matter what you guys think. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what, the administration thinks. It matters what the CIA thinks. It matters what the FBI thinks. Those are the people that are going to control what the outcome is. And if they need to squash this, they're going to squash it. And that's just that. It doesn't mean justice isn't being served. It means that someone somewhere decided that the identity and the strength of the United States of America was more important than people knowing about this thing that happened. So that's kind of what you're going to be looking at. Now, basically, everybody is turning against Trump. The writing is on the wall. People are willingly going to the Jan 6 committee to give their testimony. I see lines of people standing in line to give their testimony. The question is, what will we do with that information? Clearly, Nancy Pelosi, Benny Thompson, and Liz Cheney have decided that this information is more important than the public to get than to not get. It's more important for the public to get this information. And, who cares what Russia thinks? Who cares what China thinks? Who cares what Saudi Arabia, Iran, North Korea? Who cares? We don't care. It's more important that we have justice within our country. However, I think Garland might be taking a different tact. So Trump is really and truly thinking about fleeing the United States. And this creates a big problem because he's a free citizen. He's not been charged with anything. He could very easily abscond, is the word they're using, to Saudi Arabia or to China or to Turkey. There's another country. It's an Eastern Bloc country, but I don't know what it is. He could easily just take a little vacation there and then decide he's not coming back. So right now, what I see that's happening in America or in the United States is beads of sweat that are this big, beads of sweat that are as big as a marble on these CIA foreheads. They're terrified that if he decides to leave, look, now you've got a bigger problem because now you've got, how do we get him back from Turkey? He's now a pawn. Turkey can use him as a pawn. Saudi Arabia can use him as a pawn. We don't look any better than a banana republic at that point. Our last president has fled the country. It's like Marcos or something, right? It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for this country. So this is why the heat is being turned up on these investigations. This is why the heat's being turned up on Garland. Biden is turning the heat up on Garland. Biden is working with Fani, she's in Georgia. No, it went federal. That slipped through her hands and went federal. Raffensperger. What does Raffensperger have to do with anything? Oh, they're going to get him. They're going to get him. They're going to get Trump. They're gonna get him, and he's gonna be told through no uncertain terms that this is this. You're dead to rights. We have you. Your attorneys are telling you we have you. You need to sit down and work out a deal with us. And I think that's what ends up happening is that Trump just works out a deal, sort of a plea deal, where he's not running for office. He's not running away. He's going to agree to some sort of short-term detention that doesn't look like detention to us, but it's detention. It's basically house arrest with an ankle monitor, but nobody's really going to know that, more than likely, unless some paparazzi gets it. But that's temporary to give Garland. That's why it's temporary, so he doesn't run. To give Garland and potentially Tish James more time to seal the deal, to close the net. Okay, I have no idea if any of this makes any sense at this point. If you're still watching, I don't know, you're a glutton for punishment. That's all I can say. I think there's some stuff in there that makes sense and you should know about. I don't want this to ruin your summer. The guides have always said, go enjoy your summer. One of the reasons why I haven't been doing as many videos is, first of all, it's bleak. It's freaking bleak right now. And second of all, we should be enjoying our summer. We're going to have plenty of time for you and I to stare at each other and for me to tell you what's going on in this fall. Plenty of time. We're going to be spending a lot of time. Right now is when you can take the time off. Now is the time to disengage, unplug, get a hobby, take a class, take a vacation, boost up your vibration, take care of your health, love your loved ones, live life to the fullest. Because this fall is going to be rocky. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be stressful. And right now, things are pretty calm. So please take this opportunity to be calm, to love on yourself, love your loved ones, do all those things. And then get your battle gear on, because this fall is going to be a battle. It's going to be a battle. But we're going to win it, okay? I keep telling you guys, we're going to win this battle. Is it going to be ugly? Yes. People are probably going to die. We're going to be violence. But overall, just like Jan 6, when the smoke clears, we win. When the smoke clears, there's Democrats in the House, there's Democrats in the Senate. We have enough of a majority to get things done. But it is going to be dicey. So take really good care of yourself, okay? Now go enjoy your summer. Listen to your parents, the guides. Take good care, everybody.